This one's gonna be uncomfortable.
Just one more car. Come on, man. Come on.
Just one more! Adventure Time woke up and chose violence. The show decided to attack one of the biggest lies that we tell ourselves. We know it's never actually going to be just one more, but we lie to ourselves anyway. I know, I definitely do. When I rewatched Dungeon Trail the other day, the whole episode felt a little bit like a personal attack, not gonna lie. It goes to all the places a kid's cartoon is just not supposed to go. And it's, uncomfortable. Brilliant, but uncomfortable. Most art tends to be one of those two things. Either it's silly or it's serious. But Adventure Time manages to do both at the same time. Endlessly silly and still deeply serious. It's just one of the many reasons why I love and sometimes hate this show so much. I mean, you just want to laugh to forget that you're wasting your whole life, and then boom, those bastards force you to think.
Girls is like horses. When you fall down, it's important that you get right back on again, on a different horse.
If you remember last time, I complained about Adventure Time's take on hookup culture. By the way, I thought it was bad. Today, there's gonna be very little complaining. Dungeon Train is a masterpiece. I never thought anyone could use ant puns to explain addiction, but Tom Herpinch and Steve Wolfhard somehow pulled it off.
Forget about it. What's wrong? Feeling antsy?
Like everything else, addiction has a beginning, a middle, and maybe an end. For the beginning, Adventure Time uses a freshly dumped Finn.
Shoot, man, are you still lady sad about Flame Princess?
That's all fine. I just been feeling kinda gray is all.
Finn processes his breakup from Flame Princess like a man. He completely avoids the process and just finds himself a distraction. But Finn's distractions have their own distractions. He's on his way to explore a cave with Jake when he encounters an obstacle.
Whoa, what? What's this train all about?
Jake and Finn wait for the train to pass, but it doesn't.
It's 2 hours later now. What the stomp?
Jake stretches out and notices that the train is traveling in a loop. It's just one big moving circle with no beginning, no middle, and no end. This gives him an idea.
We can cut right through the middle, blingle, blongle, blongle. Come on.
So they went ahead and hopped on the train. Here, Jake has another idea.
If we just stay put here on the train, we could ride it all the way to the cave. Blingle, blongle, blingle.
The train is traveling in a big circle, so this idea is not nearly as bright as Jake thinks it is, but they never get the opportunity to figure it out because they get attacked by an ugly green thing wearing red rags.
Give me the loot!
Oh.
Finn fights the green thing and pushes it off the train.
Hey, Finn! Whoa. Look at all the loot that guy dropped while you whipped his butt.
Jake and Finn are obviously pleased with themselves.
Pretty fun, huh?
Yeah, man, it's spicy baby fun.
And so it begins. This is how most addictions start. People don't go out looking for stuff that's gonna suck up all their money, get them fired, and ruin their lives. They just try to have a little bit of fun. Most addictions start as harmless fun. Maybe you feel like a loser, so you play a video game that makes you feel like a winner. Or maybe you find your life too boring, so you smoke something that makes you feel a little, excitement. Or maybe your life is too exciting, so you smoke something else to help you relax. It's fun, and it's mostly harmless. But only if you do it once or twice. Once you turn that into a regular habit, you're gonna start sliding down a very, very slippery slope. This is what Jake and Finn do.
You want to go see what other kind of monsters are on this train?
Yes!
Jake and Finn go from train car to train car. They're all filled with monsters. Finn has a lot of fun fighting them, and Jake has his fair share of fun collecting the loot.
Whoa, crystal ants, I think.
Cool.
After a while, Jake feels like he's had enough fun for one day.
We should come back again someday.
But Finn hasn't had enough. Not yet. Maybe not ever.
Whoa, what do you mean? We just started only like 3 hours ago.
Jake wants to go do something else, but Finn convinces him to stay a little while longer.
Just one more car, come on, man, come on!
Jake agrees to stay, but it's not just one more car, just like it's never just one more drink, or one more video, or one more bump. It's always one more, then one more, and then one more, until it's 10 years later and you don't know how on earth one more turned into 10,000 more. This is the descent into addiction. Finn falls into a routine with fight after fight after fight. Even hunger doesn't stop him. He just eats meat from a cube of disgusting slime and keeps slaying monsters on the train. It's the perfect portrayal of an addict. Normal people have goals, dreams, and priorities. There are things that are important to you, things that define who you are. It could be your family, your job, your business, your hobbies, your local community, or anything else really. For an addict, the addiction is the only priority. Everything else becomes a side quest. Now, Finn slaying monsters on the train while ignoring everything else is an obvious metaphor for gaming addicts who neglect work and school and family just to level up in the game. It's also a metaphor for other types of addicts, the people who will sacrifice everything to unlock the next achievement or chase the next high. They are going to sacrifice friendships, waste money, waste time, and put their health at risk just for another dopamine hit. The problem here, guys, is that after a while, the dopamine hit is never really that good. Finn's adventures are repetitive. He's fighting the same monsters over and over again, but he's gotten so dependent, he can't even help it anymore.
Dude, this is the ant car. We already did the ant car.
Same car, but those are blue ants. These are red ants.
Jake tries to get Finn to leave, but Finn can't leave.
Finn, I think we should take off. I think this place is bad news for you.
Man, no way. All this feels good.
Finn compares how good he's feeling in the moment to a time when Jake made biscuits so good that Finn couldn't stop eating them. He ate and ate and ate until they were all gone.
I made those biscuits with so much butter. You were just responding to the butter.
This is another excellent metaphor. Addictions hijack the reward center of the brain. When we do things that are good for us, we tend to feel good. When you talk to a pretty girl, you feel good. When you achieve something difficult like finishing a marathon or graduating school, you feel good. And when you receive your paycheck, you feel good. Until you pay your bills and start crying again, of course. Well, feeling good is supposed to motivate you to do the things that you did again. Like run a marathon, talk to people, do your job, stuff like that. But now when you can get the same hit of feel-good hormones with less effort, it can be very tempting to take the low-effort route again and again. That's how you become an addict. Instead of working hard at life and feeling good from real accomplishments, Finn just stays on the train and gets his feel-good fix from fighting fake monsters. Okay, so Finn is doing what many addicts do. As we've already discussed, addictions substitute other things that might be missing from an addict's life. This is how addictions become a substitute for accomplishment. From the outside looking in, Jake thinks Finn's life is pathetic because Finn has a gaming addiction. He's just fighting dumb monsters on a dumb train that has nothing to do with the real world. But from Finn's perspective, his life is awesome because fighting dumb monsters is the only thing he cares about. This is what addicts do. The stuff that people consider to be important really just stops mattering to them. The only thing that matters is the next high, the next achievement in the game, or the next roll at the roulette table. So-called real life becomes irrelevant, and feeding the addiction becomes priority number one.
Woo! Finn, this is a future crystal. Look, you're alone, and you're still fighting on this dumb train.
Finn doesn't share Jake's concern.
Whoa, I'm gonna have the best life.
This is what I hate about Adventure Time! It would have taken me 37,000 words to explain Finn's reaction. They do it in a single line! Finn is doing what many addicts do, and we have already discussed addictions substitute other things that might be missing from an addict's life. A guy with a boring life might snort coke to feel that rush of excitement. A loser might play video games all day to feel like a winner, and a guy who got D's on all his book reports might overanalyze cartoons on YouTube to stick it to Mrs. Martin's. An addict's friend and family might not agree with this outlook on life, but that doesn't really matter. Addicts have a superpower that makes all these concerns melt away. They just don't care.
You can come with me if you want.
What? No, man. It's better on the train. Stuff makes sense here.
Again, Finn is saying what an addict would say,
if it wasn't water weight, could I do this?
but that doesn't mean he's wrong, at least not from his point of view. As I've probably mentioned about 300 times before, addictions are mostly substitution. If you're having a hard time winning in the real world, you can go win in a video game.
What the was that?
If you are winning, but maybe your life is too boring, you can drink, smoke, or snort something that'll make you feel a little excited. And if your life is too exciting, you can drink, smoke, or snort something that'll make you relax. None of which I recommend or endorse, by the way. But that doesn't stop people from using addictions to sub for their problems anyway. Finn wants to avoid the pain of processing his breakup because, it feels bad. Fighting monsters on the train makes him feel good, so he does that instead. If this was a math problem, it would be the simplest equation in the world. But Jake hasn't figured it out yet. He pretends to leave the train hoping that Finn is gonna follow him.
Goodbye.
Finn doesn't follow him. The boy doesn't even miss him. He keeps fighting the fake train monsters like nothing happened. One eternity later, Jake returns to the train to check on Finn. He finds a giant boss with a flame coat and iron helmet.
Hey there, friend. I ain't looking for no trouble. I'm just looking for my friend Finn.
Hey, Jake, it's me. I'm just all souped up now.
Addictions have consequences, and Finn has changed. Not for the better, by the way.
For a minute there, I thought you were one of those twisted lost soul boss guys. Wait, you are? You are one!
This is an important turning point. Jake cares about Finn. He's gone ahead and let him do this thing all along because he thought the distraction would help him heal. But now, Jake is realizing that Finn is too far gone. If he lets him stay on the train, Finn is gonna sink further into the addiction. So, Jake decides to get Finn off the train.
That's it, man! I'm getting you off this train whether you like it or not!
But addicts don't just quit because you told them to. Jake tries to force Finn off the train, and Finn fights him off by shooting him with white liquid from his spider-shaped scepter.
Huh?
A twisted lost soul boss shooting white liquid out of a big black phallic-shaped thing? Please tell me I'm not the only one seeing something else here, guys.
Oh, gross.
After splashing and coating Jake in his white bibba juice, Finn experiences post-nut clarity. He sits down and looks into the future orb. Finn sees himself. He's old and still fighting on the train. Jake is even older and still faithfully following him around. Finn feels sorry for Jake, so he goes ahead and sucks all the white stuff back into the big black spidery thing that is definitely not a metaphor for anything else. Finn's post-nut clarity is not completely clear. He's an addict after all. Expecting him to be perfectly rational is expecting too much, guys. But he lets Jake off the train. But he's still planning to stay a little while longer.
I'm gonna keep playing for a while. I'll meet you back home in a week or two.
Jake tells him that's the train talking, but Finn is actually planning to change for the better.
My inside voice is telling me it's time. Here, see for yourself.
Finn hands Jake the future orb, and the future has indeed changed. Instead of Finn fighting pixels on the train like before, Jake sees Finn washing dishes. And if you look at Finn's eyes, you can see it's foreshadowing the future. But we're gonna get to that one next, guys. The only thing Dungeon Trail lacks are solutions to addictions. Finn becomes a gaming addict and then just changes his mind one day and goes back to washing dishes. This doesn't happen that much in real life. Surprising, I know, but people don't just change overnight. They usually need a huge dose of motivation to get going. Addicts know that what they're doing is wrong on some level. Finn's inside voice tells him to stop playing around on the train and go wash dishes. A lot of addicts have a similar experience, but they don't always listen to that inner voice. They ignore it, or they justify their actions somehow. This is the life lesson of Dungeon Trail. And that inner voice tells you that you're overdoing it, listen! And if you're a friend of an addict like Jake, try pushing a little. Don't push too hard. You might get sprayed with white liquid from a big black thing, but mostly, curing the addiction can be the same as getting the addiction. Just substitute. Start replacing bad habits with good ones, and you're halfway there. Then get professional help if you can. Don't just click on the next video and forget everything you just saw. I mean, you probably will, but please, don't. Catch you next time.